Hey, this is Captain Noob, and this is the IF-54, a battle rifle. This is a highly customizable standalone weapon, complete with its own meshes, textures, and animations, which is pretty good. So you got a whole lot of stuff going on with this weapon, but definitely high quality. Anyways, first off, for the receivers, you've got a choice of 2 calibers here. If you want this thing to fire the much easier to find and much more abundant 308 rounds, then you get a higher rate of fire than your 308s. But to get raw damage, we'll go for a 308 rapid auto receiver there, and we'll move on. Now for the barrels, basically the longer the barrel, the higher your accuracy and range will go, but keep in mind that having super long barrels will actually make you consume more AP points per shot, so if you want to have this as a VATS only weapon, if you feel like it, then go for a CQC barrel, although that will cut down on your range a little bit. We'll go for the heavy sniper barrel because that gives us the best stats all round with all of that. And for the stocks, you've got a whole bunch of stocks here. We'll go for the recoil compensating stock, which actually looks similar to the weapon that I featured yesterday, so it's a pretty good use of that little asset. Again, a nice looking stock there, so very good. We'll move on to the magazine. So we've got the standard ones right now. They've only got 12 rounds in it, and so I've got a quick ejector variant of those. You can have a medium, large, drum, and then box, and the box is the biggest with the 120 rounds there, which is quite a lot, so we'll go ahead and chuck in a quick eject box mag there, and we'll move on from that. Now the sights, you can have standards, glowies, and a ring there, and a ring sight of the glowing variety, which is pretty good. You can have a reflex sight too, but I want to go for a little bit of a combat scope there. I'm really liking these see-through combat scopes, and I feel like it'll be a good addition. You don't zoom in too far, and you don't get all this tunnel vision, so a pretty good choice, I reckon. They'll go for a suppressor on the barrel there. That's actually a 10mm suppressor, interestingly enough. But yeah, that'll actually increase our stealth and damage, all of that good stuff. And you can have a bipod on this thing if you want to. We'll chuck a bipod on this thing because we want to. Now you can actually change the camos on this, which is pretty good. The army trim looks pretty neat. Desert, forest, navy, rusty will absolutely destroy your stats. Do not put that on unless you want to roleplay as a terrible gunsman who doesn't know how to maintain their weapons. Or you could put it on wood furniture for a refined gentleman, and I don't think we're playing as a gentleman, so we'll go for an army trim right there. And we'll go for some jacketed hollow point rounds for even better damage there, hitting 192, which should be absolutely slaughtering people in Gunners Plaza, and that's where we'll go. We'll grab a few other IF-54s as well, and we'll test out a few. Okay, here we are in Frame Rate is Good Plaza, and we've got our IF-54 with us there. Looking through that 2x scope there, or 2.5x scope there, we can see it's got a pretty good little scope there. I've set this up pretty well. Anyway, that's what it looks like in third person there. A pretty decent looking weapon. The animations line up nice and well. This thing would use the vanilla SMG animations in first person if they haven't already been replaced by a actual custom animation, so we'll get into that when we reload. But for now, we'll just go ahead and sneak attack crit these people because, you know, that's just the best way of getting people killed in this game. Just gratuitous sneak attack critting there. And even without those sneak attack criticals, you can tell those last little bullets on that person did about 91 damage there, so I don't believe we have to rely on sneak attack criticals to actually kill people, but I'm going to do it anyway because it greatly speeds up the kills. And yeah, you can get an idea of how absolutely powerful and obliterating this weapon is. So if we could just suppress that person out of cover there, and there we go. Okay, we seem to be going super well so far, and now we are not in danger now, so no use on sneaking around. But as you can tell here, this thing can hold its own pretty well, and it's using the assault rifle sounds. I have them replaced at the moment, but yeah. Now you might think that this might be a little bit of an overlap for the weapon yesterday. I did the WH-77 and they seem to be looking and performing the sort of the same thing. So to that end, I've made a tiny little version of this. This is going to be like our tiny compact version of this weapon, and it'll serve us well in close quarters here. So we'll just go ahead and shoot some of these gunners. And as you can tell there, the reload animation works a little bit better when the mag isn't big enough to actually clip through your hands, so that's pretty good. So the animations are pretty solid. Obviously not War Daddy sort of quality, but they still get the job done. It's a nice thing to look at whilst you're reloading the weapon. Something new. I greatly appreciate all of the custom animations, even though some of them aren't as good as the rest. But yeah, that's all good. We'll go ahead and dump a mag into Captain Bridget's face there, and we'll quickly retreat to cover because she is tearing us up via her little damage over time weapon, and she's coming around the corner. We'll hit her up in bats. As you can tell there, with the big LMG of this weapon, It's not too great in VATS. We seem to get 4 shots off, and that's about the maximum we can get, but that's enough to knock out Bridget once we get her into Nerd Rage there, which is pretty good. So we'll quickly go around the corner and spray this person. There we go. Now, despite having a super long barrel, the hipfire on this thing is unusually pretty good. Usually with video games, longer barreled weapons aren't as good in hipfire because, I don't know, just the snipers usually, but obviously they're designed to be fired over long range. I guess in real life there'd be no reason for them to be fired from the hip a little less accurately than the other ones, but I don't know. Okay, we'll quickly finish off these particular gunners, and we won't die because our weapon will severely outdamage them. And we've got a huge mag on this thing, so we can just keep on firing for days. So, ticking the boxes for ammo, ticking the boxes for looks and functionality of this weapon, I do highly recommend this mod for anyone right now. You can stop watching the video if you feel like this is all you need to make the conclusion to grab this weapon mod. But if you decide to stay and watch, then we're going to go and kill some more things. I bet that's really surprising as well. Okay, we're just outside of the Boston military checkpoint, and we'll run this gauntlet again because I feel like this is a cool little place here. Wide open spaces, a nice time to use your weapon as a sniper rifle, and with Skibada weapons, I'm moderately confident in the conclusion that these things are built for versatility, which is great. So right now I've got the 308 advanced receiver here and a particularly bad aim, but as you can tell here, we're getting a... Oh, you're running away for some reason. Yeah, some of these raiders are a little bit skittish. These ones don't usually stay and fight like the ones that you'd find further in the urban centers there, but that's kind of interesting. So we'll go ahead and move on to these gunners. These guys usually won't stay out of the fight, and also we'll just get ourselves some quick ghoulish radiation heals, and we'll move on to these gunners down there, unless Gerald has killed them all already. Yep, looks like their place is crawling with super mutants. I think we can leave them alone, and we'll kill these super mutants instead. Now, we've got this thing with the 4x scope and obviously the advanced receiver, which is a semi-automatic, and hopefully with this we can get some nice sniper knockdowns there, because they'll be very useful against the good old Gerald over there, but he's not going to be a problem for a while. These guys are a little bit too far to carry the protection from me to that Gerald over there. Yes, okay, we're good. So we'll just scope in over here and shoot these guys in the face, and hopefully we can slip out of... Hang on, there's someone over here. Okay, even with a 4x scope and the long barrel, you can still get 4 shots off in VATS at incredibly good accuracy. We can hit that guy for 95% all the way from here. So definitely an effective weapon in VATS, although it will cost a lot of AP points, I guess. And I keep saying AP points, but you all know what I mean. Alright, so it looks like there's a little bit of inaccuracy with this weapon, which isn't really that bad, to be honest. I guess you wouldn't be able to fire a weapon this precise IRL, so sure, why not have a little bit of random deviation, or maybe I'm just not lining the sights up properly, one or the other. So we're slipping out of danger right now, back into caution, and now we can, I guess we can move up while we can. Can't really have a shot on that person there. I believe if we got a VATS hit on them, we can use the penetrator perk like this. We'll just drop a crit in his face, and now he is dead, and we'll go again here, why not? 2200 damage with those crits in VATS with the sneak attack criticals. So yeah, this thing is absolutely pulverizing these guys, which is great, because as I've said before, super mutants are tanky and they're kind of boring to fight, so being able to take them out as quickly as this is kind of a nice refreshing thing, because not a lot of vanilla weapons are capable of doing so, except for your high-end legendary Gauss rifles, but you definitely wouldn't see this kind of performance out of a regular assault rifle. And we're in danger again because we slipped up there, but as you can tell there, we got a sweet knockdown on that super mutant. Unfortunately, it kind of knocked him behind cover there, so we had to wait until he gets up to start shooting at him again, but we should be fine to carry on. I believe the last enemy in here is just that doggo who's locked up. He must have been a bad doggo or something. We'll quickly jump up here and hip fire him. It will just do this like Halo and just jump around and shooting him. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we finally took him out, and now it's on for the main event, which is Gerald over there. He's got a bunch of super mutant warlords to tag along, so if we could just scale this this junk, I suppose, will go ahead and get stuck into him. So doing about 861 damage per hit, and if we can zero into the head, we'll get a whole lot more, and 915 now that he's a little bit closer. I've made a critical error in that I've stepped into the spotlight, which I swore I destroyed. Oh wait, I just saw a different one. Never mind. Okay, so we've messed up a little bit here, so we'll just move away from Gerald here, and we might have to just regroup a little bit and get some tactical ghoulish healing, because, you know, that's like a free heal station over there. Okay, slipping out of danger. We'll wait till we're in caution before we start doing anything. That is a Raider veteran. Where did you come from? Also, you're way out of your element here. We'll quickly just try to finish him off. He gets crushed by Gerald, and we're back onto sneak attack critting him. And there we go, we got a knockdown on him. Doesn't seem to be as frequent as the combat rifle with a scope, and that's probably because I'm firing just a tad slower, but now that he's knocked down, he takes a while to actually fall down because of his gigantic size, and the way he gets up is a little bit uncouth too, so we're able to take him out with a bunch of perma-staggeration there. And now we'll just finish off the rest of these bastards. Okay, so this thing probably is... yeah, I'm going to switch it out for the close quarters one. And whilst I do that, everyone's really far away. But that's okay, we can move in close now. And you know what, I'm actually curious to see how this thing does in VATS. So we'll just quickly mag dump there, let the sound catch up there all in one go, and creates a really annoying sound. Also, that seems to be 6 VATS hits, so not as much an improvement as I would have thought, but an improvement nonetheless. I could make this a little bit better for VATS if I put the CQC barrel on it, but I chose to just extend the range out a little bit there to actually make this thing perform just a tad better. Now, I'm pretty sure that's it for the super mutants, but it won't hurt to check, and I'm pretty sure these gunners decided to all run in here and escape the super mutants. There was also a person sleeping there. Nope, I think we're all clear. So I'm going to step out of the Boston military checkpoint because that PA kind of annoys me. And there you go, that was the IF-54 in multiple forms there, taking out super mutants at range and then going into close quarters and finishing off with just the right amount of, yeah, it's good. It's very modular, it's very customizable, it suits every need really. Modular and, what's the word? Versatility, yeah, that's it. That's the name of the game here. We'll go ahead and move on to something else. Okay, so a few weeks ago, Ella managed to trade kill with this giant ass froggy dude, and we're going to get our revenge today. It's been like a couple of weeks, so if you don't remember, I don't blame you. I could barely remember this either. Anyways, we're in danger for some reason. Has someone decided to rain on my parade? I'm trying to kill a monster here. Who is it? Oh, it's just an albino rad scorpion. Yeah, don't worry about him. He's not very good. Okay, we'll just knock him out. Then we'll go back to killing this giant ass froggy dude. Now the game plan here is to get him nice and knocked down with our sniper effect here, or the sniper perk. And then whilst he's knocked down, we can get a full volley of fully automatic shots on him. Although he went down in a place where I wasn't able to get him there, so we'll quickly do that now. So it seems to be a decently good approach to that, although his perception is very high for a creature. So yeah, maybe his perception was altered by whoever modded these creatures to exist, but yeah, he seems to be a little bit more perceptive than all of the other monsters I fight, which makes him quite the hard target. He's also capable of moving rather quickly. We've got our close quarters one on now just for some good bat shooting there, and we'll finish off him, mag there, and yeah. So this guy is probably one of the hardest to fight. I wouldn't say he is the hardest because there's that Deathclaw in the glowing sea that always one-shots you. He always takes the cake of being the hardest. But yeah, this one is a pretty good fight. Okay, we'll see if we can break line of sight and get into caution again. And if the combat music goes away, then we know we're good. Okay, we're back into caution now. He doesn't have a great line of sight on us, and I'm pretty sure that's what... It's somewhat how detection is calculated there, but there we go, an extra 3k damage from the crit there. Nice little burst in VAT. Even more damage there, 1200 apiece, and I believe this one will be 1200 apiece as well. Yep, it doesn't go beyond that, and that is, I believe, that is concentrated fire that does that. Unfortunately, it doesn't stack multiplicatively, so you can't do 20% extra damage each time there. Also, whenever he just hit me right then, and I'm pretty sure I just heard the baseball bat sound, so maybe he bumped his head against something. I'm not sure what that all was, but we'll go ahead and try to lure him out here. Oh, looks like that plan worked, but not in the way it worked that I liked it. So we'll switch back over to our sniper one, and before he can get to us, he's a little bit too close now. We'll see if we can stagger him a little bit, get him down with the sniper perk. We've got one more shot to do this, and we actually pull that off. I couldn't have timed that better myself, so we'll quickly move away and try to yeah, fill him up with a couple of more bullets, and we'll go for more sniper shots there because he's close enough to render himself an actual threat to me. Okay, we've taken a hit there. One more and we're dead, and unfortunately we can't use the rad boxes to heal, and we can't go into nerd rage because unless we get hit by that sonic attack of his. So if you could be kind enough to sort of hit us with that, that'd be neat. Alright, are we in nerd rage mode? Yes, we are. We'll switch over to our automatic one, and we'll fill up his face with all of the magnified hot lead that we can. It's very angry lead, so it does a lot more damage. The gun gets angry as well as the sole survivor, so that's good. Okay, we seem to have done a pretty good number there, and we'll go into more of that shooting there just because we'll just finish off this. Looks like the mysterious stranger has come into play. He does about 1,000 damage there. That's not even that bad, so good on you. We'll quickly jump into the water and see if we can't make him follow us. Now, whilst our AP is regenerating, I shouldn't be sprint swimming because that makes it regenerate slower. We should actually be slipping out of danger right now due to the Aqua Girl perk. With rank 2 of that, you get a little bit of sneakiness in the water. And we'll switch over to our close quarters one, and probably not the best idea. We'll go over to our long barrel one now, and we'll quickly finish him off there. So that's probably the cheapest and easiest way I could do it, just hide in the water until he doesn't find us. But I prefer to make my fights a little bit more interesting than that. So that is one dead cataclysmic glowing Milet King, and that is Phoebe's sweet revenge. Yes, vengeance is sweet. Unless it's the Gatling laser, then it's not sweet, it's bloody brilliant. That's a cool Gatling laser. I wish Gatling lasers were like Vengeance back in Fallout 3, but that's a weapon and thing for another day. Anyways, that was the IF-54 there. Definitely a really cool weapon. Something that I'd use sort of along with the WH-77, even though they sort of do the same things. Also, the reload animation in third person is the SMG one, but I've got a War Daddy one replacing that too, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but yeah, whatever. This looks kind of cool, even though you're cranking the bolt from the wrong side of this thing, but yeah, that's fine. So if you'd like to see this thing in your game, be sure to check out the description. There shall be a link down there. It's probably for Xbox One players too, so yeah, be on the lookout for that. Links will be in the description there. And yep, that's about it for me. Thank you for watching, guys.